What happens when a school system stops pointing fingers and starts working together to solve problems?
My name is Randy. Nice to meet you. What classes do you like best?
I like health. Crisscross applesauce, crisscross applesauce, crisscross.
You saved public education.
The chest thumping that was in ed reform or ed transformation. And these guys said, no, that's not what works.
Dave and I have our moments, but it's how we step together and keep working.
Before the landmark 2009 contract agreement, union management collaboration was not as present in New Haven, with administration starting to implement a top-down school reform agenda.
The management just wanting to whack the union, strip tenure, mass close schools, and something switched. New Haven decided to go on a separate path. They decided, let's collectively solve problems. Let's engage in solution-driven unionism. Let's actually hear each other.
Comments I had with the superintendent and the mayor back in 2009 is tenure is not the problem and unions are not the problem. Once I made them aware that we are willing to do things differently, to be self-reflective. So that's where the focus of our discussion.
So the teachers and the teachers union have been invaluable partners to us. I think they've helped us to really think deeply about, as we approach this question of improving student learning with urgency, how do we do that in a way that our teachers can receive, can be inspired by, because, at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to do the work.
I'm asking you as professionals, how do you know it's changed for the better?
I think I've never seen what's happening now in 32 years of teaching, where people are collaborating and getting together.
We're not beating those kids into a test score that's going to determine our evaluation. Come in, please, give me feedback from a peer, from an administrator, so the doors are wide open now and we have nothing to hide.
Now we have shared leadership, whereas a while back we didn't have it, and it was very just like, this is my way or the highway.
If you want a successful program, you look at those municipalities and districts that have a collaborative approach.
Since 2009, New Haven schools have seen steady progress narrowing the achievement gap and increasing graduation rates. Perhaps the most innovative part of the 2009 contract is the Teacher Evaluation System, or TEVAL.
We designed our teacher evaluation systems to make sure that we had an evaluation system whose fundamental goal was development, not sorting, and not punitive consequences.
The evaluation system, to a certain degree, is determining, who is effective and who isn't. I mean, that certainly has to be part of it, but that can't be the only part of it. If you do that, then you're not supporting people, you're not helping them, you're not making them better, so you fire someone and hire someone else, and then maybe you fire them and hire someone else.
Every day in writing, I've been asking you to...
The administration felt that I needed improvement in behavior management and my instructional practice, so they did identify me as a needs improvement teacher. Right away, I thought I was a bad teacher. I'll be honest with you, and I honestly went home and I cried. And I had to really dig deep and think about why I really wanted to go to school and become a teacher. I just had to go back to knowing that I wanted to support students, I wanted to support their families, I wanted to see the growth in students.
In the district ended her contract for the second year, put in intensive supports for her, made it very clear what the expectations were for her. So there was no question, these are things we need you to do, and these are things we are going to do to help you.
You have a resource, whether it's a classroom visitation to another room, support of a coach, tracking of student behaviors, or noting that if a lesson wasn't differentiated, sitting with the teacher and saying, okay, what could we have done?
I definitely feel more confident when I walk into the classroom. I'm strong, I'm competent, I know what I'm going to teach, and I know that I'm going to see results in my students. If I did not have those supports in place, I really feel like I would not be teaching at this point.
The 2013 contract agreement moves collaboration and teacher empowerment to the next level.
The last part of the contract is the time. We've added 30 minutes of teacher time.
And so what we're going to do is we're asking teachers and administrators at the school to decide together how they want to use this additional time.
Just a brilliant decision. If teachers have extra time, let them decide how to use it and use it wisely.
Yeah, well, I think it gives teachers ownership rather than being in a meeting where you don't want to be. You're in a meeting where you're able to take a leadership position.
What you do is you unlock the potential for all the teachers and administrators throughout the district to come up with plans that make sense for their school.
I called David and said, we want to build our back-to-school trip around New Haven because there's a culture of solving problems and the strength that gets built up from being able to do that.
To know that I have the support of my administrators, coaches, peers, union, all in one building, I think is really unique, and that there's never a punitive feeling here, ever. If we need help, we're not afraid to ask for it. If we're doing well, we're told we're doing well. But there's always that collaboration to better ourselves and to support each other.